Hi and welcome to the Brocci Brothers. My name is Florian and today I'm gonna talk about why you should stake your IOTA. So, first of all, please note that this is not an investment advice, not a financial advice. These are simply my own opinions about this whole thing about IOTA will evolve. So, why should you stake your IOTA? The simple answer is why shouldn't you want to create money out of thin air? Or thin air is maybe the wrong word in case of IOTA, but you get what I mean. Basically, by staking your IOTA, you act like a bank. You can print your own money. Why is that? Because IOTA is about to release two new networks. One is the Shimmer network and the other one is the Assembly network. So once those networks are released, the people who are currently staking IOTA will get some ASMB and SMR tokens, so Shimmer tokens and Assembly tokens, meaning you're getting, by staking right now, you're getting coins or tokens for these two networks. The networks are not even launched yet, meaning you're taking part in this journey from the very first beginning. Even before the networks are launched, you have the right to get some of these tokens. So once the networks are live, the probability is very high that the price will increase, since both of these networks have their very own use cases, which make sense. And to tell you now what the potential is, in my opinion, again, it's not a financial advice, but in my opinion, there is a huge potential in the token of IOTA and staking that token. So let's just have a look on CoinMarketCap to set a little contrast. So right now we see Bitcoin is around 780 billion market cap, and at its prime time it was around 1.2 trillion dollars. Then we have Ethereum. At the peak time it was around 560 billion, and then Binance was also over 100 billion. Then we have Dogecoin, which was around 90 billion. So these market caps were bigger in the past, but this doesn't play a role to make the comparison I want to draw. Currently, IOTA is on rank 32 with 2.6 billion in market cap. They've been a little further down this list, around 40, 45, something like that. But they have also been in the top coins already. So currently we have a price of around 95 cents. And if we look at the past of the IOTA token, let's just give it a moment. And now let's switch to the all-time graphics or overview. We can see the IOTA token was once around, as I remember it, 560, 580, and then Bitcoin started to crash and the whole crypto market started to crash. It went quite far down to, I think, around 15 cents. At least that was the lowest price I ever saw, 15 cents per IOTA. And currently, as we saw, we're around 95 cents. So from 15 to 95, we have 6x gains. But this is the mere beginning of this whole journey. So what is important to know about IOTA and its history? So the idea was created back in 2015. Back in 2015, IOTA did an ICO where they raised about 500,000 US dollars. And in 2016, they did the first release of the network. And in 2017, they created the IOTA Foundation. So now why is that important? Again, it's all about the potential of IOTA and their two coins they are releasing during the staking or by staking. So I found this Reddit post where they asked what was the initial price of IOTA during the ICO. And here we have a guess of around $0.00017 per IOTA. Now, if we take the current price of 95 cents and divide it by the initial price during the ICO, we get factor 5,281. So basically, if you would have put $1,000 in there, you would be a millionaire by now. And as I said, this is just the beginning, because it had its high during 2017. And since then, it never went back up to the same price or to the all-time high. For IOTA, this story is still pending. And I myself, I am very positive that this will happen, especially with what's happening now with the staking. They're all in preparation to release those two new networks. They won't be released at the same time, as far as I know. But it absolutely makes sense to do what they do. So why is that? Again, we have the Shimmer network, which is again a feeless network, just as it is with the IOTA mainnet. And then we have the assembly network. What's the difference between those two networks, or those three networks? We have the IOTA mainnet, we have the Shimmer network, and we have assembly network. So basically, to make it a little more understandable, I will break these things down. Again, might not be 100% correct in the technical details, but for me, it's more important to draw a picture so people can understand where this journey goes. All right, so we have the IOTA mainnet, which is live, which is feeless, which we all know, or hopefully know, or get to know. And the Shimmer network is basically a copy of the IOTA network, but it will fulfill the promise of the IOTA vision. Its Shimmer network is the IOTA staging network, if you want to say so, or in another way, to put it in another way, Shimmer network is basically the test network for the coming IOTA 2.0 network. And so what's different in Shimmer than in the IOTA mainnet? In Shimmer, we will see the first time the decentralization of the coordinator. So making IOTA, or in this case, the Shimmer network, but the same tech, for the very first time decentralized. We will see the ISCP, which is the IOTA smart contract platform, and will enable the network to run smart contracts. We will also have a network which has zero fees and which is scalable. So really fulfilling the IOTA vision in this network, to show the people what IOTA is capable, and on the other side, to run many different tests in there and just be, or make sure that the tech works and is secure to use for the IOTA mainnet. Once the tech works, they can move the technology over to the IOTA network. All right, so one might wonder, okay, that makes sense, but why should they create a third network, the assembly network? Let me give you a little example for that, or an illustration with the Ethereum blockchain. In the Ethereum blockchain, we have value transactions. So when you send around Ethereum, that's a value transaction, and you have also smart contract transactions, meaning for all the decentralized apps, people can use these smart contracts to make transactions in the Ethereum network. Now, what's the problem with Ethereum? In my point of view, the problem is that in Ethereum, you have one layer, and in this layer, you have the value transactions and the smart contract transactions, meaning there's a lot going on, there is much traffic, and because of that, you have congestions. People have to start bidding to get into the blocks to make their transactions. This is not the case with IOTA or Shimmer or Assembly because they don't have blocks. But what I want to tell you with this is Ethereum has one layer. In that layer, you have value transactions and smart contract transactions. And that's the reason why we see all those layer 2 solutions popping up around Ethereum, because they say, hey, we do the transactions in our layer 2 solution and then just write down a state into the Ethereum blockchain. Now, with IOTA, they have found a very sexy solution by creating assembly, meaning in the IOTA network, we will have our value transactions, and in the assembly network, we will have everything which has to do with smart contract transactions. So in case of having all the transactions in one layer, IOTA provides a solution where they have two different networks, and there could be many more networks. So you can build your own network and run your smart contract in your very own network. So you see, there is a big potential and a lot of sense in those three networks, and we will see a lot of interesting projects coming to the Shimmer network. So this whole thing of creating the IOTA vision is really taking place now during this year, I would say, or at least showing everyone that this vision will come true. As I've told before, the idea of IOTA is around since 2015, making it one of the oldest distributed ledger technologies or crypto networks. And on top of that, they did something which very few other distributed ledger technologies did or other cryptos did. They sold every single coin they had, meaning there is no centralization in terms of holding coins or making the decision of withholding tokens for the public. And because they didn't withhold tokens, they didn't have the ability to do things like other cryptos do. Best example is marketing. So the IOTA never had some funds to really do marketing. Now that's also where Shimmer and Assembly networks come in. IOTA releases those two networks also to raise some funds. Some funds they won't fill their pockets with, but they will use those funds to push the community in building this whole ecosystem, which is necessary to let the dream of Web 3.0, metaverse, and all those buzzwords come true. And in my opinion, we are at a very interesting stage just because IOTA was researching and developing the technology necessary to make the vision of IOTA true. That took some time. They were doing research and development for the past 6 or 7 years. And now is the time where they finally get some funds they can use to promote the network, to build the platforms around it. And so we're really in an interesting time. I think that's it for today. Thanks a lot for listening. And if you have any questions or remarks, just drop them in the comments and have a good one.